Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you're trying, really trying, but something still holds you back? Like you're on a treadmill, moving but going nowhere? Maybe you've read the books, watched the inspirational videos, set the goals, promised yourself change. And yet, here you are, feeling stuck, again. So the question is, what's really stopping you? Is it your circumstances, or is it something deeper? Something within? Hey, warrior. Yes, you the one who's tired of spinning your wheels while life races by. You've been putting in effort, haven't you? Reading more, trying to think positive, setting goals, chasing clarity. But somehow, none of it seems to stick for long. Now pause for a moment and picture this. Two men, same crisis. Both lose their jobs. The first one? He falls apart. He blames the economy, curses his boss, and sinks into despair. The second? He rises early the next morning, updates his skills, sharpens his focus, and rebuilds his future. Same event, different outcomes. Why? The answer is harsh, but simple. It's not life that breaks you, it's our mindset that hands life the hammer. And that's why Stoicism matters more today than ever. In a world drowning in distraction, excuse-making, and emotional chaos, this philosophy slices through the noise with one truth. You are in control. Not your feelings, not your history, not society. You. Fixing your life doesn't begin with your bank account, your relationship, or your job title. It begins where all real power begins, with your mind. When you fix your mind, everything else begins to align. But here's your warning. What you're about to hear isn't soft, sugar-coated advice. These aren't cozy quotes to post online and forget. These are the kinds of truths that punch your ego, stare down your excuses, and expose every crack in your armor. This is not for the faint-hearted. It's for the man or woman who's tired of living in loops, tired of giving up the moment life gets uncomfortable, tired of breaking down every time the world doesn't cooperate. If that's you, if you're ready to stop surviving and start reclaiming your life, then you're exactly where you need to be. Because in this video, we're diving into 10 Stoic rules that will help you take back command of your mind, your emotions, your habits, your goals, your entire life. These are ancient truths drawn from the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, translated into modern language you can apply today. You won't need a philosophy degree to follow along. You just need honesty and the courage to face yourself. We'll explore the pillars of emotional resilience, mental discipline, clarity, self-awareness, and the hard but necessary journey of becoming who you were always meant to be. Each rule comes with a Stoic quote, not as a decoration, but as a tool, a weapon, a mirror. Before we begin, I ask you this. Are you ready to stop blaming the world and start rebuilding yourself from within? Are you ready to command your emotions instead of being hijacked by them? Are you ready to finally align your mind with the life you claim to want? Then type this in the comments right now. I will no longer live at the mercy of my emotions. And if this resonates, don't just watch. Engage. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more timeless wisdom turned into modern power. Most importantly, don't skip a second of what comes next. Each rule is connected. Each one has the power to change the way you think forever. Let's begin. Rule 1. Stop negotiating with your weakness. You must build up your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible. And no one can keep you from this. Marcus Aurelius. Let's be brutally honest. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they keep cutting deals with their own weakness. They whisper to themselves, just 10 more minutes in bed won't hurt. I'll eat clean tomorrow. I'll text them one last time, then I'll stop. Sound familiar? But here's the truth. Every time you negotiate with weakness, weakness wins. And when weakness wins enough times, it becomes who you are. You don't lose your strength in one big collapse. You lose it in the tiny, silent agreements you make with your comfort. Now think about this. The strongest version of yourself, the focused, driven, resilient version, it's not some unreachable ideal. It's already inside you, but it's being smothered by years of comfort, excuses, and emotional indulgence. You can't access that version of yourself if you surrender every time things get uncomfortable. You can't build a better life if you fold every time you feel bored, lonely, tired, or triggered. The Stoics understood this perfectly. They didn't crave ease. They trained for adversity. They prepared their minds like warriors sharpen their swords by putting them through pressure and friction. Why? Because every temptation resisted, every hard choice made, every emotion mastered, was a victory for the soul. So let me ask you something personal. When your alarm rings, do you rise like a warrior? Or do you let your emotions hit snooze? When anxiety strikes, do you sit with it, breathe through it, rise above it? Or do you scroll, snack, distract, and pretend it's not there? When you're pulled back to toxic habits, do you stand your ground or whisper, just one more time? Here's the unfiltered truth you must swallow. You will never fix your life until you kill the version of yourself that keeps making excuses. There is no peace without discipline. There is no greatness without sacrifice. There is no strength of mind without facing your own weakness and declaring, not today. Every time you delay your potential, you're not just wasting a moment. You're betraying your future self. You're making the road longer, the mountain steeper, the fire dimmer. So next time you want to lie in bed, next time you want to send that text, skip that workout, waste that hour. You don't rationalize it. You don't justify it. You don't say, just this once. You get up. You shut it down. You choose strength. Because that's how warriors are built, action by action. And I don't care how far behind you feel, how many mistakes you've made, how much you've failed. The exact moment you stop negotiating with weakness, that's when the healing begins. That's when the building begins. That's when you become dangerous to your excuses. Drop this in the comments right now if you're done playing soft with your potential. No more deals with weakness. I choose strength. Rule 2. Control your reactions, or be controlled by them. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus? Let's play a little thought experiment. Two people hear the exact same insult, same tone, same words, same setting. One of them laughs, brushes it off, and keeps walking. The other holds it like a dagger in the chest for days, maybe weeks. They lose sleep, rehearse comebacks, spiral into self-doubt. So what made the difference? It wasn't the words, it was the reaction. Because it's never really about what happens to you. It's about what you tell yourself it means. Not the traffic jam, not the rude coworker, not the breakup, not the failure. It's your interpretation that shapes your emotional reality. But here's the tragedy. Most people go through life as emotional slaves. Their mood rises and falls based on tiny events they can't control. They hand over the keys to their peace to strangers, to algorithms, to moments. One harsh comment, they snap. One delay, they panic. One rejection, they collapse. But the Stoic knows better. They know that power doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling your response to the world. So here's the truth you need to absorb. Every time you lash out, overthink, or spiral into chaos, you are giving your power away. Worse, you become predictable, manipulatable, a puppet. Anyone can pull your strings if they know where your buttons are. Push this one, you explode. Push that one, you shut down. Is that the life you want? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this. and you will find strength. Let that sink in. So how do you start reclaiming that power? Step 1. Slow down your reactions. When you feel that fire building, pause. Take a breath. Step back mentally. Ask yourself, what part of this do I actually control? If the answer is nothing external, then the battle isn't out there. It's inside. Step 2. Separate the facts from your feelings. She insulted me. That's a fact. I'm worthless. That's a story. Train your mind to see the raw data without the emotional fog. Step 3. Reclaim your peace deliberately. Peace doesn't mean being passive. It means being unshakable. It means moving through life with calm precision, not emotional chaos. Here's the secret the world won't tell you. People who control their reactions become dangerous in the best way possible. Why? Because they can't be baited. They don't crumble under pressure. They don't dance to someone else's tune. They respond with purpose and not panic. They move with clarity, not confusion. And yes, this is a skill. You're not born calm. You train it like a muscle. Every time you hold back instead of lashing out, you grow stronger. Every moment you remain centered while others unravel, you become rarer. You become someone who's not just surviving but leading. So the next time someone pushes your buttons, remember, their words only have power if you give it to them. Their behavior reflects them, not you. But how you respond, that always reflects who you are. And if you truly want to fix your life, you've got to stop reacting like your peace is up for auction. Respond like a warrior preparing for battle, deliberate, focused, grounded, because the person who controls their reactions owns their life. Drop this affirmation in the comments below if you're ready to stop being a puppet to your emotions. My peace is mine. I will not hand it over. Rule 3. Do the hard things, especially when you don't feel like it. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus, let's cut to the chase. Most people already know what they need to do to change their life. Wake up earlier. Cut the distractions. Say no more. Hit the gym. Have that tough conversation. Speak up. Be consistent. They know it down to the exact steps. So why aren't they doing it? Because it's hard. Because it's uncomfortable. Because their emotions scream louder than their willpower. Here's the trap. We wait to feel ready. We wait for motivation, for the stars to align, for some perfect moment when discipline will feel easy. But that moment, it doesn't come. And that's the difference between the weak and the strong. The weak wait to feel like it. The strong, they do it anyway. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark. It fades. Discipline is fire. It sustains. The Stoics knew this truth deeply. They didn't rely on moods. They trained their minds to expect resistance, to embrace it. They saw discomfort not as a punishment, but as a forge. A place where the weak burn away and strength is shaped. If your actions are always chained to how you feel, you'll never build a meaningful life. And here's what most people won't admit. You're not always going to feel like doing the right thing. You won't always feel like pushing forward. And that's okay. Because true strength is doing it especially when you don't feel like it. The gym when you're exhausted? Victory. Speaking up when your voice shakes? Growth. Walking away from comfort into fear? That's real power. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about how many battles you've already lost without even showing up. How many dreams have you delayed? Not because they were impossible, but because they were uncomfortable. So ask yourself, are you willing to suffer the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later? Either way, you will suffer, but only one of those pains builds the life you actually want. Here's what you need to hear. You're never going to feel ready to transform. You're never going to be 100% motivated. There will always be a reason to delay. But the longer you wait, the more life passes you by, the more strength withers, the more regret takes root. So what should you do? Do the work anyway, even when you're tired, even when you're frustrated, even when no one claps for you. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need applause. You need one thing: relentless discipline. And when your body wants to quit, when your emotions start whining, when your thoughts start doubting, that's when you push harder. That's where transformation begins. That's where warriors are made. Because discipline isn't glamorous. It's not exciting. It's not trendy. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's uncomfortable. But it works. It chisels character. It builds self-respect. It breaks the chains of emotional slavery. So stop chasing hacks. Stop waiting to feel like it. Start building grit. Every hard thing you do today makes tomorrow lighter. Every discomfort you lean into now becomes pride in your future story. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to push through resistance. Discipline over feelings. I do the hard things. Rule 4. Cut the noise and master your focus. If you are everywhere, you are nowhere. Seneca. Let's face a hard truth. We live in a world screaming for your attention. Every second, every scroll, every ping, every headline. Your phone lights up, your mind jumps, your focus fragments, and then you wonder why you feel so scattered, so anxious, so behind. But let me be blunt. You can't fix your life if your mind is constantly somewhere else. You can't build anything meaningful if your attention is being shredded by endless distractions. The Stoics didn't live with smartphones, but they understood something timeless. Clarity is power, and clarity demands focus. Marcus Aurelius didn't multitask. He didn't seek inspiration by scrolling. He wrote, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman doing what's in front of you with serious intention and genuine conviction." He didn't say dabble. He didn't say try everything. He said, focus, deeply, relentlessly. So let me ask you, when was the last time you were fully present? Not halfway there, not mentally bouncing around, but locked in, grounded, absorbed. How much of your day is spent creating versus consuming? How many hours do you leak away to shallow distractions, empty scrolling, or meaningless noise? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't lazy, they're addicted to noise. They're so used to being stimulated that silence makes them anxious. They can't sit alone. They can't work uninterrupted. They can't stay on one path long enough to master anything. But if you want to live a powerful life, you must reclaim your attention. Because wherever your attention goes, your life follows. So here's how to start. Step 1. Cut the digital noise. Turn off non-essential notifications. Delete what distracts you. Set firm boundaries around your screen time. Use your phone like a tool, not a leash. Step 2. Create sacred space for deep work. Even if it's just 1 hour a day, no distractions, no noise, no multitasking. Just you and your craft, your body, your thoughts, your mission. That's where self-respect grows. That's where real progress happens. Step 3. Train your focus like a muscle. Be fully present when eating, reading, walking, writing. Turn everyday moments into practice for mental strength. Because the world will always fight for your attention. But only you decide what deserves it. And understand this. A distracted mind doesn't just lose time. It loses life. The Stoic doesn't chase every shiny thing. They don't let the chaos of the world invade their clarity. They choose what to focus on deliberately, because a focused mind is a dangerous mind. It builds, it improves, it leads. It cuts through fog like a sword through silence. So if you feel lost, start here. Start with your attention. Master it, and you master your world. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to cut the noise and claim your focus. I control my focus. My attention builds my future. Rule 5. Stop seeking approval. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. Marcus Aurelius? Let that hit you for a second. You say you love yourself. You say you want to grow. You say you're building a better life. But one sideways glance from someone you barely know, and you shrink. One sarcastic comment, and you hesitate. One friend rolling their eyes, and suddenly your whole momentum collapses. Why? Because you're still chasing permission. You're still addicted to approval. And that's what's really holding you back. Here's a brutal truth. You can't fix your life if you keep needing applause for every move. The deeper you go into personal growth, the more resistance you'll face. Not just from strangers, often from the people closest to you. Friends, family, co-workers. Not because they're evil, but because your growth threatens their comfort. Your discipline exposes their laziness. Your courage highlights their fear. Your evolution reminds them of the version of themselves they've been avoiding. And so, they mock you. They doubt you. They try to pull you back into the old version of you. The one they understand. The one they can predict. The one that doesn't challenge them. But you didn't come this far to stay understood. You came to become unshakable. And that means standing alone, misunderstood, even laughed at if that's what growth demands. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, if you're not willing to look weird, if you're not okay with being misjudged, if you can't stand alone for what you believe, you'll never rise. You'll stay average, stay small, stay quiet, all to stay accepted. But let me tell you this plainly, no one is coming to save you. No one is required to believe in you. No one is obligated to understand your vision. And guess what? You don't need them to. The moment you stop needing approval, you become dangerous. Because now you move because it's right, not because it's popular. You build because it's aligned, not because it's liked. You grow because you must, not because someone claps. So what if they laugh at your new habits? So what if they don't get your silence, your boundaries, your obsession with progress? You're not here to be understood by the small-minded. You're here to outgrow your old self. And yes, that road is lonely, but it's also the most powerful path you'll ever walk. Let others stay in the safety of the crowd. You? Walk your path with pride, even if no one joins you, because greatness has always been a lonely road. But it's also the road of strength, of freedom, of inner peace. So stop waiting. Stop explaining. Stop apologizing. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You just need to decide. You're done playing small. Drop this in the comments if you're done seeking permission. I don't need approval. I choose alignment. Rule 6. Silence is a power. Speak less. Master more. Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. Epictetus, we live in an age where everyone wants to be heard. Every thought, every opinion, every reaction, broadcasted, posted, shared. It's a world addicted to noise. But in that chaos, there's something quietly powerful. Something most people overlook. Silence. Because silence isn't weakness. Silence is mastery. You see, the person who always needs to speak, who always needs to explain, who always needs to react, is the one who's leaking energy with every word. But the silent one? The one who listens more than they speak? The one who responds with intention? The one who doesn't overshare their emotions, plans, or pain? That person is dangerous. Why? Because no one can read them. No one knows what they're thinking, planning, or feeling. And in a world obsessed with being loud, that kind of mystery is power. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." And guess what's often outside your control? People's opinions, their reactions, their judgment. But what is within your control? Your mouth, your tone, your timing, your silence. And let's be honest, the more you talk, the more you expose your insecurities, your fears, your strategies, your doubts. But when you stay quiet, you conserve strength. You protect your peace. You become unpredictable. So let me say this clearly. Not everything needs a reaction. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not every feeling needs to be spoken aloud. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. Let others seek attention. Let others perform for validation. You move in silence. You let your results speak. You let your presence speak. You let your character speak. And silence doesn't mean passivity. It means calculated presence. It means choosing your words with precision. It means refusing to waste your breath on things that don't matter. It also protects you from arguments, from overexposure, from explaining yourself to people who only want to misunderstand you anyway. So, how do you start mastering this? Step 1. Be okay with not responding. You don't owe everyone a comeback. Not every DM needs an answer. Not every insult deserves your time. Let time respond for you. Step 2. Get comfortable with being misunderstood. You don't need to defend yourself at every turn. You don't need to clear your name in every room. Stop trying to prove your worth. Start living it. Step 3. Focus on becoming, not performing. Let others talk about their goals. You build yours in silence. Let others post about strength. You train yours when no one's watching. The Stoic path isn't loud. It's not flashy. It's steady. It's focused. It's intentional. And it begins with silence. So stop leaking your energy through your words. Stop trying to fill every silence with noise. Let your quiet unsettle the weak. Let your silence be your shield and your sword. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to master your tongue. I will let silence speak for my strength. Rule 7. Own your mistakes without shame, without excuses. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Seneca. Let's stop pretending. Everyone messes up. Everyone falls short. Everyone has a chapter they don't read out loud. But the real question isn't if you've made mistakes. It's what you do with them. Do you own them like a warrior? Or do you run from them like a coward? Most people, they run. They blame. They cover their tracks with denial, distraction, or fake positivity. They say things like, "It wasn't my fault. They made me do it. I just wasn't ready." They write polished stories that make them the victim or the hero, but never the one who fell short. That's not honesty. That's ego protection. And the Stoics had no patience for that. They didn't sugarcoat their failures. They stared them down, owned them fully, learned, evolved, moved forward. Because only one thing separates a broken life from a rebuilt one: radical self-honesty. So let me ask you directly. Did you waste years in a toxic relationship? Own it. Did you betray your own values? Own it. Did you lie, procrastinate, self-sabotage, numb yourself, or pretend things were fine when they weren't? Own all of it. Not with guilt. Not with shame. With courage. Shame keeps you stuck in the past. Ownership pulls you forward. When you own your mess, not just the polished version of your story, but the ugly truth, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of your past, and you become a builder of your future. Seneca reminds us, friction polishes the gem. Translation: the version of you that you admire, the one who's wise, strong, composed, wasn't born from perfection. They were shaped in the fire, by mistakes, by failure, by pain. So stop hiding your wounds. They're not your weakness. They're your proof that you've lived, that you've fallen, that you've learned, that you've chosen to rise. Stop trying to look perfect. That illusion will choke your growth. Instead, be brutally honest with yourself first. Because you can't fix your life if you're still rewriting the past to make yourself feel better. Here's the key. Stop asking, why did I do that? Start asking, what did I learn and what will I do next? Stand in the fire of your own truth. Take responsibility not just for where you've been, but for who you're choosing to become right now. No more stories. No more justifications. No more dancing around the truth. Look in the mirror and say, yes, I failed, but now I rise, and I will never go back. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to own your journey. I own my past. I rise with purpose. Rule 8. Discomfort is your teacher. Stop running from it. Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace. Epictetus. Let me tell you something that could change your life. Discomfort isn't your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. But here's the problem. Most people run from it like it's a threat. The moment things get hard, awkward, painful, or uncertain, they escape. The room gets too quiet. They reach for their phone. Anxiety creeps in. They scroll, snack, binge, numb. A tough emotion rises. They shove it down and pretend it doesn't exist. But here's the raw truth. Everything you want in life lives on the other side of discomfort. Your growth, your strength, your transformation. It's all hiding inside the very feelings you're trying to avoid. The Stoics didn't chase comfort. They didn't expect the world to be easy. They trained for storms. They embraced adversity not because they were masochists, but because they understood. Strength doesn't come from ease. It comes from endurance. You can't build physical muscle without breaking it down first. You can't build mental toughness without facing resistance. You can't experience real peace until you've made peace with pain. So stop labeling discomfort as bad. Start asking, what is this here to teach me? When your heart is broken, ask, what strength is this pain trying to forge in me? When life feels unfair, ask, how can I lead myself through this with grace? When your plans fall apart, ask, what deeper alignment is this chaos pulling me toward? Discomfort isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's your soul calling you to rise. Sto evolvido, shed your old skin. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, plague, and death. And still, he wrote, if it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. That's not cold. That's clarity. Because when you stop running from discomfort, you stop fearing life. And when you stop fearing life, you become free. Here's what no one tells you. If you keep dodging pain, you're not protecting yourself, you're postponing your potential. Every feeling you suppress today will demand attention tomorrow, and by then, it will have grown teeth. So meet it now, head on, with eyes open, with courage in your chest and steadiness in your breath. The next time discomfort shows up, don't flinch, don't escape, don't numb. Ask it, what are you here to make of me? Because when you stop fearing discomfort, you become unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to face the fire. Discomfort is my teacher. I no longer run. Rule 9. Discipline is greater than motivation. Build it daily. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Let's be honest. You've been told to get motivated your whole life. But has motivation ever truly carried you through your hardest days? Probably not. Because here's the cold truth. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a lifestyle. Motivation is emotional. It's hype. It's a temporary fire. It shows up after a podcast, a video, a quote. It feels good for a while. But then life gets hard. And the fire fades. And you're left with the one thing that actually matters. Your discipline. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when your mind says, just 5 more minutes. Discipline is what makes you lace up your shoes and show up to train when you'd rather rest. Discipline is what moves you forward when no one's watching and nothing feels easy. The Stoics didn't wait for inspiration. They didn't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" They built a rhythm, a structure, a code based, not on how they felt, but on who they were becoming. Marcus Aurelius still led Rome while exhausted, grieving, and under siege. He didn't say, "I'll rule better once I feel better." He ruled because it was his duty. That's Stoicism, and that's the shift you must make. From chasing motivation to choosing discipline. You want to fix your life? Then stop looking for the next mental high. Start laying bricks every single day. It's not glamorous. It's not viral. It won't get applause. But it will change you. Here's what daily discipline looks like. Waking up on time, even when your body begs for more sleep. Moving your body, even if it's just a walk, especially when you don't feel like it. Saying no to distractions when everyone else is indulging. Choosing focus when your mind wants comfort. Staying committed to your routine, even on the days that feel hollow. Discipline is quiet. It's boring. It's relentless. But over time, it builds something that motivation never could. Self-respect. Because when you do what needs to be done, even when you don't want to, you prove to yourself that your emotions are not the boss. You are. That's the moment you stop being a prisoner to your moods and start becoming a master of your mind. So yes, there will be days you don't feel like it. There will be days when no one sees your effort. But show up anyway. Because discipline is what carries you when motivation disappears. And once you build it, you won't need motivation anymore. You'll move forward regardless. That's real power. That's real freedom. That's Stoicism. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to choose strength over mood. Discipline is my foundation. I move forward no matter what. Rule 10. Stop living in your head. Live in alignment with your actions. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Let's get real. You've read the books. You've highlighted the quotes. You've told yourself, "I know what I need to do." And yet, you're still stuck in your head. Endless planning, overthinking, waiting for the perfect time to begin, waiting for life to get easier, waiting until you feel ready. But here's the truth that most never face. You don't need more knowledge. You need more alignment. Knowing what to do is not the same as doing it. Talking about growth is not the same as living it. Dreaming of becoming the strongest version of yourself is not the same as building it day by day. The Stoics didn't sit around intellectualizing. They didn't get trapped in abstract theories. They acted. They embodied. They lived their philosophy. A Stoic doesn't just post about peace. He practices it in the middle of chaos. A Stoic doesn't just admire discipline. He shows up for it when no one claps, when it's inconvenient, when it's cold and lonely. This is where most people fail. They live two lives. One in their mind full of clarity, values, and strength. One in reality full of contradiction, excuses, and self-betrayal. They say they value time but waste it. They say they seek truth but avoid difficult conversations. They say they want to be stoic but fall apart over trivial things. Let me give it to you straight. It doesn't matter what you say you believe if your actions don't match. You can read Marcus Aurelius until your eyes bleed. But if your life doesn't reflect it, you're just performing, wearing the mask of virtue without the backbone to live it. So here's the fix. Stop pretending. Start aligning. You say you value discipline? Prove it at 6 a.m. You say you want peace? Walk away from the drama. You say you want to grow? Do the work today. No more waiting. No more rehearsing in your mind. No more hiding behind perfectionism. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need a new routine. You just need to act in alignment with what you already know. And every time you do, you'll feel stronger, clearer, more grounded. Because that's where real peace lives. Not in knowing, but in doing. Not in pretending, but in being. And when your values and actions match, you become unstoppable. Not to others, but to your own weakness. So next time you're tempted to talk about what matters, pause and live it instead. Ask yourself, what would the strongest version of me do right now? Then go do that. Let your life speak louder than your mouth. Let your actions silence your doubts. Let your alignment make you untouchable. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to live what you say. I will live as the person I claim to be. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody